Greetings, YouTube. Last night, my wife and I went and saw the film Thor at the local cheap theaters. And in honor of Thor, I'm wearing my Norseman t-shirt. Now, I'm not going to cover a lot of the details of the movie Thor. I am sure anyone who wants to can get full-fledged reviews of Thor here on YouTube, and the character of Thor is historic, and it's from the comics, and he's been used many times in fiction. Basic storyline is he's an arrogant young god, pisses off his father through duplicity done by his brother Loki, and ends up being cast down to Earth and has to learn a lesson, and eventually rises to the occasion and shows the world that he is in fact a true hero. And in that regard, I feel that the film was a success. I enjoyed myself. I wasn't disappointed as far as the storyline overall was concerned. I feel that the actor playing Loki did a particularly good time, and of course Anthony Hopkins playing Odin was an excellent choice. He really has the gravitas and the reserve, I think, that Odin really needed, and he did look good with that beard. I'm envious. I would love to have a beard as good as Anthony Hopkins did in that film. And overall, I feel that it was a good step towards the Avengers film, which is coming out in 2012, I believe. I enjoyed myself, so I can't say it was a bad time. There were things about the film that I was a little disappointed in. I don't feel that the character of Thor really went through enough trials here on Earth to show the character development that he acquired. There wasn't enough of being beaten down, facing reality, and then having to build himself back up again. The story arc to me just felt a little too short in that regard. Also, his warrior companions in Asgard, you knew that they were all friends. You knew that they were all a group of adventurers who had been out there having a good time and being hot-blooded youths. But I didn't make the connection within the time that I was given in the film. An example I gave to my wife on the way home is that Buckaroo Banzai, the film, I really felt the connection that team had from the first scene all the way through the end of the film. I didn't really feel that connection in this movie, which is a pity because the characters that are from his Asgardian companions are all interesting. I would have felt a little bit more time in that, would have probably given everything a little better connection and a little more weight to it. I would have appreciated that. I consider this better, for example, than Iron Man 2. And I know there are people who like Iron Man 2 out there, but not as good as Iron Man. Iron Man is still, I think, the best of the Marvel films as far as a single character concentrated film is concerned. X2 may be my favorite Marvel comic film of the last series that's come out. So I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. The effects were nice. The space scenes were beautiful. Asgard looked great. The destroyer armor was awesome. I enjoyed the shield agents. They were very well done. The character of Thor, plays with Hemsworth, his last name. He looked great. He put a lot of weight on, and he looked awesome. Interestingly enough, his brother also tried to get the role of Thor. That's kind of interesting. Two brothers going for the same character. But I did have one major issue with the film, and I can't quite grasp why the director made this decision. The Norse or Scandinavian northern people, all right? And this is going to come as a shock to some viewers of this, but they were all white. They were all Caucasians. This isn't to support any kind of white supremacist worldview. It's a statement of reality. The Norse gods looked like the Norse. And that's what they should have looked like in this film. And they didn't. One of the characters was Asian, and it made no sense to me why he was Asian. None whatsoever. And then they made Hemdale, the guard of the Bifrost Bridge, a black man. Now, I am all for ethnic diversity. I want to see a film that represents the ethnic diversity of the world. All right? And on Earth, they had ample opportunity in that film to put as much ethnic diversity as they wanted to. But in Asgard, all those folks should have been Caucasian. And that took me out of the film. It seemed like a bad choice to me. They could have made Natalie Portman's character ethnic. They could have made her father figure in the film, the older researcher, ethnic. They could have made the Kat Dennings character ethnic, which would have been a little disappointment to me because I think Kat Dennings is really sexy. But they didn't, and they could have. If Natalie Portman's character had been black or Hispanic or Asian, it still would have been a viable character. There would have been no problem because on Earth we have the ethnic diversity as much as you want, and you could have done anything you wanted to do with those characters. But they didn't. For some strange reason, they decided to put the ethnic diversity in Asgard, which makes no sense. And one last thing. Near the end of the film, this is a spoiler, I apologize, Thor destroys the Bifrost Bridge. Cool. I didn't expect that, but cool. Why don't they just rebuild it? Asgard is full of dwarves. Asgardian dwarves are the best craftsmen in the known universe. They could build you a new bridge. Sorry, I'm a geek. I'm a bit of history buff. I like mythology. The Norse pantheon is why that's always fascinated me. And of course, the dwarves are awesome. So, if you like the Thor character, and you like the Marvel Universe, I recommend the film. It was fun. And I'm looking forward to how they incorporate Thor into the Avengers coming up in a new film. Because Thor is a level of power so far above Captain America or Iron Man that there's a big power imbalance there. I'm going to be interested in seeing how they pull that off. Because I can't quite fathom how Thor isn't just going to blow them literally out of the water on the power scale. I guess we'll see.